You are insignificant in this world wide web. And honestly, it just ain't it. And what I mean by that is you're trying to blow up, you're trying to go viral, trying to be famous, whatever it is on the internet. And it's this endless cycle of seeing something interesting, copying or chasing the latest trend, doing what you can to match that same aesthetic, working on the video, posting it, and it doesn't do well. It flops, you feel defeated, and you kind of just, I don't know, just try to figure it out or something. I don't know. But you can kind of use that to your advantage. Even though you feel like you don't have as big of a following or as much engagement or views or whatever it is that you're trying to get, that still comes as a plus. You have to consider um, you're not as seasoned as a lot of the, I guess, internet professionals, but that's totally okay. What I feel like I've seen from a lot of like big creators is that they're kind of stuck with a certain persona that the internet and their viewers or fans or whoever have kind of placed on them. Um like it's really, I don't know, I feel like it's difficult to do a brand shift unless you're very strategic about it. It can be quite difficult. It feels like once you're known for something, you're kind of just stuck with that. And I don't know, for me, that feels kind of stressful, especially like when you like just naturally living life. You're always changing, growing, progressing, maybe falling back on some things, but your identity is constantly changing, and you're not, the same person you were 2 months ago, 2 years ago, 2 decades ago. But when you're known for something, you're kind of expected. There's a certain expectation that you follow that image through and through. And I personally think that, like, it's hard for certain people who want to like branch out into other things to get that same success and continue doing that. So if you feel like you're a small creator and your content, your art, your work, or whatever hasn't gotten the attention you wanted to get, it's not that bad. I mean, that gives you more time to think about who you want to be as a person and how you want the internet to see you before you get to that point where you're kind of locked in. I know for me, like when I started like posting on TikTok and stuff like that, I was doing comedy, just random skits and stuff like that. I had the free time and I was doing whatever, just throwing anything and everything that I thought would go viral. But at the same time, like I didn't feel comfortable sharing like my content out there with my friends and stuff, like the people close to me, because it was like, yeah, I'm getting the likes and views that I want, but at the same time, I'm compromising how I see myself as a person. And I think that also kind of played into like me feeling burnt out and me feeling out of place in a way when it came to posting my content. So I kind of like took a break from that, jumped back in, try to do the same thing. Seems like I didn't learn, and been on and off since then. Now I feel like I'm starting to get a better idea of like how I want to perceive, how I want people to perceive me on the internet. And so things are like slowly starting to make sense. But at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm also thinking like, like when this does blow up and it does do like, the numbers and stuff like that, like how, like, what video is going to go viral? What what videos are people going to know me for and stuff like that? And is it flexible enough for me to like go in and out between niches or like move to a different niche if I find something else that interests me? I would hope so. I would hope so. I also feel like this raw style of content is probably like the best way to do that, because Like I'm pretty much just giving out my personality and talking about myself. And throughout the years, or like throughout time, like I feel like, there will definitely be changes, but those changes will be slow and gradual. So it might not be noticeable at first, but like, watching a video from this year versus that year is definitely going to be like honestly pretty jarring, but it's also understandable. It makes sense. It's not like too far out there, unless something happens and I do like a complete 180 on my personality and all that. I don't think that should be the case, but hey, anything could happen. Um, but yeah, um, yeah, I don't know. It's hard because like people tell you to like pick a niche and stick to a niche, but especially if you feel like you could excel in different niches, it can make things kind of tricky. I mean, it seems like, most of the time it's like, oh, just merge things together or like pick a niche and like anything that you're interested in, make that cater towards that niche. But like, what if you want to step out, and do something else? I feel like we shouldn't be tied down to like the one personality. Like it's also kind of crazy. Like fan expectations are pretty powerful. Like it almost feels like they make or break your success. But like I also feel like if you were able to gain success, you should be able to do it again. But at the same time it's hard cuz like you could change up cuz that's what you want to do, and you're free to do that. But also it kind of goes against the fan base that you've created. And so now you'd have to find a new audience because most of the audience might leave and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's just something that's been like on my mind here and there, and it's like all over the place, like swimming around and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, and I mean, I guess it's nice that I picked up modeling because like it's different. It's different. I guess it's different from what I'm used to, but at the same time, it feels raw and personal. Like when I'm walking, I'm throwing in my personality and stuff like that. And it feels like, just having that confidence and assertiveness to just like walk and know that, what you're wearing or whatever you're like modeling for is like, the best thing ever. And you're pretty much trying to bring out the best out of it. I'm like, you know what? I need to start making videos out of that. Um, yeah, and I feel like, something like this is like something that I could easily do with anything. I could just talk about anything for 10 minutes, I hope. I mean, can't be too hard. Kind of doing that right now, Um, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm also kind of going off the deep end and kind of diverging, talking about different things. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think like one person I think of in particular is like Tyler the Creator. Like that guy was like the funny man on the internet for a while, and then all of a sudden he just comes out with music and like it's good music too and stuff like that. And he, I guess, like literally just ignored his past personality and let the music speak for himself. Honestly, the same thing with Joji too. Because he had Pink Guy, and now he's like making music that's so like heartfelt and emotional, which you wouldn't expect. So it's like, you know what? It's possible. It's definitely possible. It's difficult, and I mean, if you're willing to put in the time and effort and stuff like that, you could definitely make it work. But man, is it tough? I feel like that like makes and breaks channels and stuff like that. But then also there's like what you call it, being too on the nose with your niche and sticking only to that, that like it kind of like shoots you in your foot, like especially like young or creators that kind of cater to a younger audience. Eventually that audience grows up, and when that audience grows up and the channel doesn't grow with the audience is going to leave. Because like, yeah, what do I look like watching? Like half the stuff that I used to watch when I was younger, I definitely would not watch now because I would not find it interesting. I'd find it weird if anything. Um, but yeah, yeah. Let me go back full circle and take it back to the main point. Use this time that you have as a small creator when the stakes aren't that high. There's nothing in jeopardy, and not too many people are watching your stuff to pretty much figure out how you want to be perceived and also understand how, like, the best way to do that without things getting too rocky. And I think you should be straight. I think we should all be straight. Because I also feel like I'm an insignificant person on this world wide web. That's my TED talk.